Hello and welcome to a sun-drenched Sydney Harbour for heats 3 and 4 of the Australian Championships for the flying 18-foot skiffs. A new format for this series, a 10-race series. 2 races today, windward-leeward courses of 2 beats to windward and finishing downwind. And we saw some exciting racing in the first weekend, last weekend, and I'm sure we're going to see the same today. We've got a east-southeasterly breeze of anywhere ranging between 8 to 12 knots and maybe a bit more in the gusts. I'm Peter Shipway, and joining me today is our new captain, Steve Quigley, standing in for the absent Warwick Rooklyn, and as usual, Andrew Buckland's with us today. So, Steve, how do you see the race panning out, and give us your overview today?
Oh, look, as we look up the course, Pete, there's a nice little sort of 10 to 14, 15 knot southeaster. I think, as we were discussing before, it's not a very mixed breeze or a very stable breeze. I'm expecting that there'll be quite large wind shifts, 20, 25 degrees, and I think big changes in velocity as well. I think it, could be anywhere between 8 and 10 in the soft spots, and could get into the top end of the big rig in the high end. So I'm expecting a really good race. We've got a great fleet out here today, and it should be fantastic. Okay,
and before we bring Andrew in, just a quick thoughts on, give us thoughts on 1, 2 and 3 in the race 1 today. Steve, from you first.
Race 1, I think probably the Smeg boys would be the favourite. I like my boys in the Kitchen Maker for the top 3, and probably AOL. So they're Smeg, Kitchen Maker, AOL.
Okay, Andrew, we'll bring you in. Your tips and an overview of the weather and general synopsis of the day.
Well, Pete, fairly stable weather pattern, but gradient east-southeasterly flow on Sydney Harbour, and as Quigg said, I put the minimum wind strength a bit lower, 7 to 14. Quite a bit of ebb tide, probably running about 1.5 in the middle of the stream. Significant factor. Quite unstable in the lower, down at the water level of wind. So it'll be a tough day for the crews, and not much going to happen as the day goes on. The wind is not expected to change significantly over the course of the day. Not much thermal influence today.
Okay, and your tips, Andrew, for the first race today, or heat 3?
Oh, I'm pretty much with Quiggs, really. Smeg, AOL, Kitchen Maker, possibly ASCO. I think the top 3 will come from those 4 boats.
Okay, well, we're certainly under starters' orders. We've just got just over 2 minutes, I think, to go. And we're right here on the starting line, which is in Athol Bight off Taronga Park Zoo, and a 1.2 mile beat to windward. Course set at 110 degrees, and it'll be short, sharp, no room for mistakes. You've got to get off this starting line clean and quickly.
It's 1 minute.
So we've got 1 minute.
Should be a good thing you weren't timing the start, Pete, eh?
Well, I'd lost my watch, Andrew.
That's all right. No harm done. They're lining up, and in our discussion before the start, we didn't think it would be possible to start at the pin end, and as the fleet has agreed with us pretty much, and everybody racking up toward the windward end. Smeg, the leewardmost boat, and they are within 100 feet of the committee vessel, to give you an idea about what the fleet thinks about the line bias.
And a big outflowing tide too.
And we did have a quiet bet amongst ourselves that there might be a general recall because the tide is carrying the fleet towards the line. But they're looking okay. They're looking in good shape. Just less than 20 seconds to go now. A bit of congestion at the boat end. Ooh, and Ilvy's had to bail.
Ilvy's in trouble
in
there.
The last 5 seconds here now. There we go. And individual recall.
Individual. Okay.
Who were you thinking then?
Now, that might have been AOL. Or it might have been Yandu. Or it might have been Lumix.
Yeah.
So at the windward end, it's Panasonic.
Yeah.
Jumped away nicely from Yandu. Yeah. And there's just all on starboard at the moment, standing in towards the Bradley's Head shore. start a few starting to bail now on port. But no one has come back. They're the numbers up. Numbers 4 and 5 are the boats that are over.
4 and 5.
I'll tell you about those in a moment. And here's Quality Marine Clothing. They're one of the first to jump away on port, and I would think, Andrew, they'd stand out here and get some good tide benefit as they get out into midstream.
Well, in my simple mind, I would have thought that the guy hard right will pay here. Stronger wind towards Rushcutters Bay. And obviously the current benefit's significant. All the usual things, and they didn't start very well, so they've started basically behind the fleet. But I would still say that they could come out near the lead.
All the fleet now on port, standing out into mid-harbour. And we can just see a massive powerboat powering right across the front of the fleet. Very courteous from that gentleman. Just extraordinary how they have no idea of observing sailing boats. Breeze down and up, isn't it, Andrew, at the moment?
Yep. It's right where we are on the camera cat, we've probably only got 8 knots, but there's a little puff coming, which is 14 or more. Now, breeze back in the right here, Pete, too.
Yeah, big
hard
right hand
big
shift.
right in this.
Yep.
And these guys should probably, now they're in the river, should be on the other tack probably.
Yeah.
We see a red boat tipped over up in front of us here as well, Steve. I think that might be Noakes sailing.
Clearly didn't make the start. I'm not sure who that is.
Yes, he's been there for quite a while.
All right.
So your boys on the kitchen maker probably
They must have been listening to you,
tacked
mate.
on the face of the puff. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
So they lead at the moment, I think.
Yeah, done a terrific job.
Yeah. Panasonic might still be second. And they've done a different thing. But wow, look at the right-hander here. Hard right puff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the kitchen maker, Noakes Youth and Quality Marine, who probably didn't get the greatest start at taking advantage of that right-hand puff at the moment.
Now the problem with the big puff is the back of the puff is a big lull. Tough cycle to go through here.
But if we look who's gone hard left up under Bradley's, it's the Smegglers and...
Smeg in a great line of pressure up there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at the Rag and Famish just in front of Kitchen Maker, so no. So the guys that have come off that puff have done well, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Smeg there in camera. He's just at the Bradley's Head blinker there. He's high on port at the moment.
Yeah.
And he looks pretty good.
He does, as does Noakes.
Noakes as well.
So there you go. Smeg leads in actual fact, guys.
Smeg leads.
It's gone left again. So
I don't mind the look of the Rag out in the middle here too, boys. They've done a very nice job, and they're out in pressure. And if there's any right hand in that puff, they could be close to the lead too, Bucko.
Nah, they're behind Smeg, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Just an update for the ASCO fans. That was in fact ASCO in the water that were having trouble. So they're clearly out of this first race.
And they were, although it's a long way to go, they were equal leading on points going into race 3. They had a first and a third last week, so this will be a discard for them, no doubt about that. Ooh.
Pretty good.
I'll just stand by.
So we're on Triple M at the moment.
One of the boats in the fleet that's got a very big rig, Pete.
And enough fat men on the wire to handle it.
Yeah, they have. Got some big boys there.
So, right where we are now on the camera boat, we're at probably what he thinks about maximum wind speed, about 14 knots of wind. Almost above range now for the big rig, but the puff won't last that long, we don't think. What have we got there? That's appliance online.
So
They haven't got out of the start too well. Smeg leads pretty readily here from Noakes, I think, now second. So the right-hand side eventually paid Pete.
Yeah, it finally did. And Noakes Sailing is right in this.
With a little rig in.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are.
That's a surprising choice.
And they're about halfway up the beat. The weather marks out off Point Piper, between Point Piper and halfway between Point Piper and Shark Island. And the
I'm just.
Triple M and standing into Double Bay, still on port, looking for the header to go back on. Just to windward of him, out of shot is the Kitchen Maker at the moment. Lovely sailing breeze at the moment. The sky's cleared. The harbour's pretty free of interference from boats and other yachts and ferries at the moment, so it's a nice racetrack at the moment.
Shipway, lovely sailing breeze if you're not the tactician.
I was going to say, this is where the tacticians earn their money.
This is a very sweaty day for the...
No, come on, Bucko.
The next half a mile of sailing is the tough part. Will it go right? Will it go left?
It's going to get pretty tricky now. Up as this mark is
In the Dardanelles, as our late mate Mr. Killick would have said.
Yep,
Through the
firmly up there.
Dardanelles, and plenty can happen.
And at the head of the fleet, I can tell you that Noakes is doing a pretty good job hanging in with his small rig on.
I think he's possibly even in front.
I think he probably is.
If the wind stays up, Pete, I think him and the Rag and the Smeg.
Rag coming in from the left-hand side of the course is going to cross both of them.
Yep.
I think.
No, Smeg's in front of the Rag.
Yeah, but they've cracked off. Look at the jib. They're fully cracked.
Smeg's still in front, and we'll get, as they get in less wind up the top here. Nice.
So Bryce, Jacob and Rory doing a great job there in the top three. Clearly in the top three.
Those that went hard right don't look that good.
No, run out of wind on the right.
Yep.
Broke the first rule of yachting, Pete. Don't go when the wind isn't.
Oh. So we're on Rag and Famish there, standing in towards Point Piper, towards the Prime Minister's house.
That's right, going for a gin and tonic with Malcolm.
Yeah.
I think
Lovely.
Pete Caligaris will be very happy with those boys. They're going from strength to strength. You know, they've been training during the week, and boy, has it been showing. They're looking really solid.
So quite a big split actually in the fleet here, guys. The top three boats have got a good 30-second gap to fourth. And out of all this, you'd expect Smeg will lead at the windward mark. They've sailed in the most wind for the last minute or so. And might be able to lay the mark from up where they're going. Stephen, do you think?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, no, I think if they go right into the point there, they'll get close.
We're on Noakes Youth there, and Del Zotto just tacked, just standing in towards Shark Island. And meanwhile, at the head of the fleet, we've got Smeg, and I think Noakes Sailing will be hurting now a little with that smaller rig on, Andrew.
Particularly behind the fishing boat, Pete.
Yeah.
So, boys and girls, I'm just going to get up to the top mark and we'll watch them come round,
Yeah, and out the back of the puff here, the breeze right down to about 8 knots.
That's the race leader we're on there, Smeg, Lee Napton.
Just having an altercation with a cruising yacht.
They had a mixed day last week. Lee wasn't steering. Michael Coxon, the defending JJ Giltman champion, was on board. And they had a mixed day, as I said. They won the first heat, then capsized at the start of the second and got back well to finish 7th. So they're going into this third heat equal third on points, but long way to go with 10 races, so a little meaningless to really look at the points at this stage, but they've jumped away nicely here and they will lead quite nicely at this weather mark from Rag and Famish and probably Noakes Sailing, who are just trying to avoid a fishing boat who's not making life easy. And there's Smeg tacking for the weather mark. Rag's got to make 2 more tacks to come, 1 more tack to come out. There's Smeg. He's round, the race leader. He's got a nice 15 to 20 second lead. Spinnaker going up.
And just the fishing boat might come into play yet again.
Yes. Puts the bow down. Nice
great,
set.
good set.
Yep.
Good set.
And away they go in towards Shark Island. Smeg first.
So,
Rag and Famish second. They're round.
Roughly 20 seconds, Pete, as you predicted.
Okay. And then another 20 seconds or so to Noakes Sailing.
And Noakes really hurt in the last 500 yards here, Steve, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Less rig and no wind up in the top of the course here.
So he'll be third, and then DeLonghi's got himself up into fourth.
Oh.
And it was a mixed beat, wasn't it? Some went right early and looked good, then they really paid for that. So DeLonghi will be fourth. There's Noakes Sailing in third spot, and then the real close battle here for with the rest of the fleet.
Yeah.
That's DeLonghi just tacking. The breeze way down at the moment, way down. Here they come around the mark. They're struggling to get there, but they will get there.
So the rich got richer there. Smeg got round the mark, clean set, nice puff, gone.
Yeah.
There's Noakes Sailing in third spot, and then the real close battle here for with the rest of the fleet.
Yeah.
That's DeLonghi just tacking. The breeze way down at the moment, way down. Here they come around the mark. They're struggling to get there, but they will get there.
So the rich got richer there. Smeg got round the mark, clean set, nice puff, gone.
Yeah, and they did a really nice job just timing themselves on the left-hand side with that.
Yep.
With that pressure line, just timing themselves on the left-hand side with that.
Yep.
With that pressure line.
Yeah.
And Simon Nern did a good job getting back on the left, so it's just a matter of timing.
Yeah.
And Simon Nern did a good job getting back on the.
Exactly.
Poor old Woody and Yandu, who got a great start, is bringing up the rear of the fleet.
Yeah, well.
So, there's a
not anymore.
Del Zotto. He is just
Oh, Woody.
in on Woody's. Oh, no, Woody's
double jibe.
had to avoid him. I think he was trying to jibe.
He was going to do a jibe set.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And
Did
then
not
he
see Del Zotto in the water there.
capsized right in front of him. So he's had to take avoiding action. And the kitchen maker you can see in the background, just to the right of the Harbour Bridge with a wide spinnaker. He's got the bow down and in good pressure as you anticipated, Andrew.
Yeah, and, you know,
Out of the tide.
very
too.
localised bits of wind and downwind, you know, your speed could be 50% higher than the guy that's in the lull here. So trying to find a good puff and have a look at your boys now, Steve.
Yeah.
They're in a good header with pressure. So I think they'll be able to look at the mid-fleet at the bottom mark.
Well, they've always got the option to jibe down if they need to. There's a couple of teams looking pretty tight on Bradley's there at the moment, so hopefully they've chosen the right path. Anyway, they need to do something, so we're just off to the bottom mark now.
I'll have a look at the puff that the Appliance Online is in.
So it's a 4-lapper, don't forget. 2 beats to windward and two runs to the finish. 2 runs downwind, and the second time downwind they will finish. And at the leeward marks the first time there's a gate. They can choose to go round the left-hand or right-hand mark. But at the moment, Smeg
For a while, it took them 20 or 30 seconds to get that sorted out. So it hasn't been ideal, but despite that, they're still looking at the top 6 at the bottom here.
Yeah.
mixed up and is a 12-foot skiff, so you can discount him, but Smeg's the leader still, Rag and Famish second, and then Noakes Sailing and the Kitchen Maker. The Kitchen Maker could easily get into third here because Noakes will struggle with this smaller sail area, and that's 12-foot skiff on the left as we look. So obviously he's not in this 18-footer race, and that's Noakes Sailing, still in third place at the moment. He's being run down here by both DeLonghi and the Kitchen Maker.
And the viewers at home will notice that on Noakes Sailing they've got one guy in the boat, so they're not really fully using all their riding moment there. They're very undercooked, but doing a nice job to hang in.
Yeah, I wonder what Sean was thinking, Steve, because they have had a bit of trouble with execution the last several weeks.
Well, I think, you know, with greatest respect, they're probably missing Reece Mara there.
Yep.
He's down at the Superfoilers in Adelaide, and we wish them all the best. All the 18-foot skiff sailors sailing that event. But, you know, it's not easy to take someone of Reece's quality out of a crew, and
Yeah, out of an established lineup, that's
Yep.
true, isn't it?
very difficult.
Okay, well, Smeg's just gone round the right-hand gate, looking downwind, and from a lead of 20 seconds at the windward mark, he's opened up to almost a minute, I would think, 40 to 50 seconds perhaps.
40, probably 30,
Okay.
40. Yep.
So
doubled his lead.
Looks to be the best mark to have gone round, I think, Andrew, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Port marked slightly upwind of the start.
And he got caught there a bit, Rag.
Yep.
So there's Noakes sailing, just going round the right-hand mark, looking downwind. Kitchen Maker right on him, and he will power over the top him. DeLonghi going round the left-hand mark. There's Noakes Youth we're on. He's still going in on starboard jibe.
Looks pretty quiet up in that right-hand corner there, Pete, doesn't it?
But it might be a nice place to take the spinnaker down, Steve.
Yeah, well, there is that, but you still have to get out of there, so...
Yeah. No, you're right, but I think the wind is actually okay in there. Looking at the flags on the island bar, mate.
How do you think the Rag's gone, though? I mean, if you look at where they are in relation to Noakes sailing and the Kitchen Maker, do you think that...
Well, don't think so, Steve, because the breeze hasn't gone right in this bottom part of the track. If you look at the Smeg going upwind, which not on shot, but they're on port tack in lifted left-hand air, so...
Oh, I think the Smegglers are gone, mate. I think we're looking at a race for second at the moment.
Yeah, no, but I was just looking at the indication of the wind direction they had, yeah?
Yes, yep.
So they're now tacked in the middle of the river in a good line of breeze.
Yep.
Yes, I think barring accidents, the Smeg would be in pretty good shape. He's really extended out. He's back on starboard. Just approach.
Further up is a big line of wind.
Yep. So the lottery starts again, Bucko, I think, because you know we've got Noakes and the Kitchen Maker, DeLonghi and Quality Marine heading right, and on the left we've got Smeg, the Rag, Finport, Woody.
Well,
investing in the left, so it'll be interesting to see who wins.
It's a big split.
The square rigger's in play here, but I think the left will pay here now because that's where the wind is, yeah? There's no wind in the right at all.
The Smeg looking strong there in pressure and angle.
I think you'll find that the Rag will come out second, pretty readily second, actually.
Yep.
Yes, he's right in on Bradley's head. He's got good pressure. He's up high on port tack, and now the boat's in midstream are suffering now, Bucko. Look, they're down pressure. And Smeg's in a really good
suffering doesn't even begin to describe it. Look at Noakes, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Noakes, he just tacked and there's no pressure at all.
And these guys on this side of the track are in uprange big sail, and the guys on the other side might have, there's a bit there that looks like 6 or 7 knots.
Yeah.
So tough.
Well, there's Kitchen Maker and Noakes. They've got it starting to rumble again, but they were very down pressure there for a long period of time. They're up again, but it's
not
still
so much anymore.
No, there's a bad one from
Just
Kitchen Maker.
caved.
I think the left has paid a little bit here.
So Finport came around the bottom mark about 5th, and they are now 3rd, probably 3rd.
Yeah, so the leading group are standing in towards Double Bay on port tack.
So we've got Smeg clearly in the lead, but the Rag and Famish are close enough just to make it interesting, I think. And then Finport's the big mover, Bucko, as you said. They're charging up. They're in a solid 3rd now.
I think we saw that the recall numbers were 4 and 5, and that would be DeLonghi and Appliances online. So that is not confirmed, but that's what our feeling is, that those 2 boats were recalled. We don't think they went back. So
well, Pete, Appliances did do a big dip just in the last sort of 5 seconds, and I don't know if they got their whole boat back onto the right side of the line. They were clearly pretty well advanced with about 10 seconds to go. But
okay, well, we'll count them in at this stage, and then when the race finishes, before the start of the next race, which is race 4 of the Australian titles, we'll check with the committee vessel and just see the update on all of that. But at the moment, we're watching Rag and Finport. Rag just tacking onto starboard out off Double Bay, and Finport to leeward of him standing in behind the leader. They've closed a bit on the leader, I think, Rag has.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Rag's doing a really nice job. They've just got a loose cover on Finport, and they're just staying on the same side of the course as Smeg, so smart sailing from the Rag boys.
Light on the right-hand edge now.
Yeah, it's light on the right, and they're not in the massive tide boost either, Bucko, in here, so the guy's out at sea, if you like, on the western side.
Yeah, well, behind Smeg, Finport's was down. He's tacked right back on port.
Yeah, Smeg's just about to get to a new line of wind, but these guys here...
There's Rag. He's really soft now. He's got crew in, bow down. Oh, very soft. There's not much coming to him for a little while. He'll probably tack.
Yeah.
Smeg, meanwhile, has got the puff. No, Rag's standing on to wait to get into the puff that Smeg's got.
Wow, look at that.
He'll get it in about 10 seconds.
Prime Minister special Pete on the Smeg.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Rag just starting to get it now.
Yeah.
Finport gambled there. He dived in and he's still in low pressure. But there's Smeg.
Jesus, that's some risk I don't think you'd want to take on the Finport.
No, that is a big risk.
Yeah.
He dived in right onto the western side of Point Piper. Some other boats have stood out to the left, and Kitchenmaker being one of them. He's made some big inroads as well. But at the moment, Smeg keeps on keeping on.
Yeah.
He's got good pressure.
It's a long way back from the left. I mean, they've done a good job on the left, but it's a long way back in a massive header. The breeze has gone 15 right, I'd suggest.
Well, Finport, he didn't look that good, but now he's got pressure again. He's up on starboard.
He probably will hang on to third here, but...
Yeah.
Just...
A couple of big power boats ploughing up the middle of the fleet.
Yeah. We've got a bit of competition here for the win.
Nobody could beat the Camera Cat Quicks. Come on.
Is that right?
Come on.
So Smeg's going to...
power through. Oh, no, I'm not.
No. He's lifted. He will jibe, Steve.
Smeg's lifted in not much pressure. Once he gets
I don't know where to... I'm going to stop. Yeah.
There's Smeg going right in front of us on the Camera Cat. Not much pressure, running into Shark Island. Rag and Famish not round yet, so it's still a nice lead. Lee Napton just looking around. Lee in the red hat looking around for some pressure. There's not much to look for, Lee.
No.
Not much at all.
Amazing, isn't it?
Slim pickings. General down pressure at the moment, gentlemen?
Very much
Down
so.
and right.
Down and right.
Quite weird.
And Quality Marine Clothing's jumped back into close to fourth or fifth. There's the Rag going round now. He's second.
Yeah. And then you'll see Finport coming in.
Lifting nicely to round in third.
Then it's a bit of a drift off between Quality Marine and the Kitchenmaker.
Kitchenmaker, yeah, and then a fair gap back after that.
Good line of breeze coming here for the Coopers, and we'll get down to the Smeg too, I think. So,
And, so what do you think about it? What's the Finport doing?
well, couldn't get the bearaway stuck, mate. So
Wasn't that much pressure. You would have thought he would have got around. And here's Quality Marine Clothing round.
Quite a bit of commentary there from Keegan.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
he's not in great shape. He's got starboard tackers approaching, but they're all jibe setting. Quality Marine,
good puff, good
Clothing,
puff
Kitchenmaker, Finport have all jibed. So it's going to be a good race for third, I think.
Pete, looking at that though, Smeg had no choice. There was no wind at the mark.
No, sure.
He
had to do what he did.
He had to do what he did. You
exactly.
know, just sometimes what happens up there. Yeah?
But it's still a good race, certainly for third and second, perhaps.
Yeah. So we got Smeg,
Well,
Smeg, the Rag. The Rag. I like the look of the Rag here, boys.
the boat that did a good job on the beat was Quality Marine, Aaron Everett. Yeah.
Aaron Everett did a great job.
Yeah.
Yep. Saw them out training during the week too.
Good on them. It shows, and
Yep.
these all in soft pressure though, Andrew.
Yeah, Smeg's now got his bow pointed at the headland. I can tell you, he's attacking it as if he's not going to lay the white light.
He will get round there.
Yep.
Rag's now got a bit of a puff, and he's got a big cruise boat that'll come into play in a moment. You'll see that come into shot. That'll affect him after he goes past it, because that's a big wind shadow behind this Majestic 2.
Yeah. Yeah, they're looking very soft there. They got a guy in the boat.
And Finport's keeping on in the middle. Finport's coming right into this at the moment. He'd be a second or third even.
Yeah, I think Finport's now in second, guys.
Yes.
There's more pressure where he is. The rag clearly lifted and lightened where we are, where the camera cat is exactly. So,
yeah, Smeg got it all right though. He didn't look good for a little while, but he's just got good pressure and he's away.
Yeah. Bryce looking there. Apprehensive win.
looks like 2 minutes because he's going downwind, but one and in here.
One and in, yeah.
And he knows when to jibe just before we get to the ferry wake. It's a marker straight in front.
So that'll be, I would think, the final jibe in.
Right.
So Smeg will go in first, so that'll give him the 3 races so far, placings of 1, 7 and 1. So that's a nice tidy scoreline. He's got good pressure there. He's aiming right at the committee boat. You'll just see the committee boat to his right and right behind him now. And that is a very nice victory for Smeg. Lee Napton and the boys.
Lee Napton, Ricky Bridge and Mike McKenzie. Beautiful job. So, who do you like for second, Bucko?
I think Rag will get second if he's not overstood.
They're a long way back, aren't they? Gee, it's a big win to Smeg. Short race like that. So they'll just hang around for race 4.
Bloke on the cruising boat might get in the way here, mate. But
Yeah, single-handed in the J100.
He'll get yelled at, that's for sure.
He
oh, no for these
Yeah,
guys.
Finport second. Good job. Kitchen Maker third. Good job too.
And Cooper's a bit of overlay, Steve, eh?
Rag and
that
Famish, yeah.
was unfortunate. They did a beautiful job up till then, the boys, but
Oh, well. And Quality Marine's going to get 5th.
the fleet compressed a little there.
Lumix,
Yeah.
6th. The 2 boats that were recalled, 7th and 8th, and if they get disqualified, I don't think they'll be too concerned, in fact, because 7th and 8th is not a countable one for, certainly for appliances. 9th will be Yandu, 10th Noakes. And something must have happened to Triple M who are yet to come, Stephen. And Asco, who didn't start.
Asco,
Well, I think
let's give them their due. They're
on the
actually
course.
got going.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know if they started in time, but they certainly completed the course. So good on them, because they were in all sorts of trouble on their side. Looked like they were affecting some sort of repair before the start. So they were a long way away.
Yeah, okay, I stand corrected there. We're looking at some 12-footers. I can see Noakes Youth right up the top there. We'll be waiting a while, but probably 10 minutes.
So just recapping, that's race 3. Heat 3 of the Australian Championships. First was Smeg. Very good win. Second was Finport. Third was the Kitchen Maker. Bragg got one jibe and in. And then after he finishes, we might go and check those recalls, I think, and see what happened from the committee boat. I think Pete...
Sorry, I think, Pete, given that they had recalled them and they didn't go back, I think to get reinstated, AOL would have to protest. And our video footage might be the only evidence they can bring, yeah?
Right.
Not sure that would help them, Bucko.
No, it might not.
Well, they did a big dip, is all I can say, and they were then obscured by other boats, so it may be, but...
Sorry, I thought you meant the original infringement. I didn't see the dip.
No, it's a pretty good dip, like a 2 boat length dip, so...
So what did we make of all that, boys? Andrew, what did you learn from that?
Well, I think it went by the script pretty much, except Lee Napton was too clever for all of us. got out of the left-hand end of the line and led at the top mark, which so he found good pressure in under the shore here. And one thing those guys are good at is if they've had 2 laps worth of learning, their next race will be better.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do learn extremely well, and a little bit to our surprise, because on the left-hand edge there looked like less wind and there's a bit less favourable current. But despite all that, they found a good line of wind off the headland, and that got them to the front, and they never looked back, really, did they?
No, that was a good job. We'll just see, we're at the committee boat now, and we'll ask a question that mightn't want to be... they will not figure in the calculations. We're just watching now Noakes Youth cross the finishing line. So just across. So those 2 boats will be DSQ'd. So that'll elevate the boats behind them by a couple of placings. So that's disappointing for Appliances Online and DeLonghi. So they are out for not returning from a recall. So we're just waiting now for Smeg to be the last boat to finish. And he had real problems. He missed the start. He was capsized mid-course well before the start. Obviously had some problems. Finally got the boat up, and he's finishing now. He's got another minute or so before he finishes, and then once he finishes they'll check the line, and we'll get race 4 underway. Don't know whether there'll be much change to the line, but the breeze is still up. Puffy, Andrew, isn't it, still?
Well, just a little bit of change in the sky, so a little bit of cold air now upon us, and a little bit of build associated with that, in fact. So I think a little more wind for the second race.
Bit of cloud activity over the hill there too, Andrew, coming towards us.
The grey bits mean more pressure, basically.
Okay, that's
but structurally not much different, you know. It's still going to be find the wind, still a game of find the wind, really. Asco toughed it out from starting in last and starting late.
Yeah, no, good on them for Australian sailing. I mean, they're still going to continue online. I don't want anyone to think that they're not still a force in yachting journalism. They are, but I was surprised to read that it had been going for 41 years. Makes me feel old, Pete. Go on, you were going to say something?
It makes us all feel old, not just you.
Yeah, so 41 years is in any business. Anyone that's run a business would know 41 years is to keep it going is amazing, really. And I was also, a couple of quick facts, quite surprised to hear that in that time there were only 4 editors. Bob himself, of course, and then the great Vanessa Dudley, who is an 18-foot skiff sailor of some repute, and then Kimberly Wilmot, who is our media manager here at the 18-foot skiffs, and married to Paul Montague, so she's Kimberly Montague nowadays, and Roger McMillan rounded it off. So that shows a lot of stability in the magazine, and I guess anyway. I think I remember the first edition, which was September 1976, and there was a nice little piece in the magazine. So if you see it on the rack, go and buy it, because it is now a collector's edition, I guess. So, and I just thought, Pete, that we'd just have a little competition. We haven't done this at the 18-footers before, so one of our great sponsors here is Quality Marine Clothing, and I'm actually wearing one of their hats. It's a beauty. So I'm going to give away a Quality Marine Clothing hat for the first person who tweets to @18skiff. Kimberly Wilmot will...
columnists like Sandy Peacock and others, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just terrific.
Yeah, it was a great magazine, or is a great magazine.
Still is,
and Bob really contributed to the success of it. And he was a yachtsman writing about yachting, you know. He knew what the game was about, and he said it as it was.
Yeah, and look, I had the pleasure to do a J24 Worlds campaign with him back when we were both a lot younger, and he's just an absolute gentleman, a fantastic guy, great bloke, fun to sail with. So anyway, we wish him all the best.
A historian of the sport in Australia and the world, I think.
Yeah.
So guys, we're in sequence here now. breeze actually just lifted off. Went from being pretty windy. We're just where the camera boat is, just in the face of a puff, but volatility has not reduced one iota despite my previous predictions, Steve.
I can't believe you're wrong, Bucko. Is that what you're saying? Or you're
slightly misquoted and widely misunderstood, mate.
Never wrong, Shippers. He's just modifying his opinions.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think they've changed the starting line.
No, she's all good.
All good, so we're ready to rock and roll.
Now, I'll say again, I think that the boat end's favoured, but let's see if the mighty Smeg can come out of the leeward end and win the race. Who knows?
Well, that's what he did last time, wasn't it? He got down there, he won the leeward end and didn't look good for a while, but he just rocketed along the Bradley's Head shore and had his nose in front early.
Must be more current over there than I know about, Pete. I don't know.
Huffy and shifty right up at the weather mark, and that's where you can make big gains, and conversely you can make big losses. And as we saw last time, boats went from mid-fleet to the back of the fleet, from the back of the fleet to almost to the front of the fleet. But there was no denying Smeg. That was his race all the way.
Just coming to 1 minute.
Yep. Yes. There's 1 minute. You can hear the hoot up,
and we see at the far end of the line, the good ship Noakes lining up for a port tacker. Good luck with that. No. Smeg doing the same thing as they did the previous start, just herding the fleet up a little bit. Appliances on line, choosing to pursue the pin end.
What are your thoughts on a general here, Bucko, with 30 seconds to go?
Looking plausible.
Plausible. Yeah, big word.
But the fleet was pretty calm, I thought, the last start, so who knows, you know.
Very crowded at the boat, guys.
Yep. They need to have some high-grade parking up there, Steve.
Yeah. Del Zotto's
10 seconds
in there. I don't think Woody will be too happy with them. Kitchen maker.
Might be an individual, but we know general. Appliances on line at the pin.
There's the gun. We're away.
Appliances on line on port.
And the kitchen maker
and Smeg
got caught up there.
So there's the race leader, Smeg. On port, standing out, just coming out from Bradley's Head shore. He's about 100 metres, 200 metres to leeward of Bradley's Head, standing out into mid-harbour. Good breeze there, Andrew, at the moment.
Well, yeah, no, the forecast pressure has turned up finally, but yeah, no, it's still volatile, but yeah, definitely a little bit more wind than the first race here. Big ship, big white ship.
Wonder if Woz is on board. That pina colada in his
pina
hand.
colada on the back
deck. Could be his new boat.
I mean, it's a nice looking vessel, but anyway, we're watching the yacht, the skiffs. That's what we want to watch. Yeah. Smeg, appliances online, DeLonghi, Del Zotto, Yandu, Quality Marine, all in the mix at the moment. A long beat up to Point Piper, and it's a 4-lapper, 2 windward legs and 2 leeward legs.
A 4-legger, Pete.
It's a 4-legger.
Not a 4-lapper.
Well, whatever. 4 of them.
Okay.
That's probably 2 laps, isn't it? That's you're right.
2 laps, 4 legs.
Yeah, that's it.
Who's counting?
Half a spider.
That's right. Half a spider. I stand corrected.
Now the Coopers, so the Rug and Famish having a tacking duel with themselves over hard left, not on screen, but eating some gas. Thank you, Chits.
Yes, he's well buried.
Yeah, over there with the Asco, Finport, Noakes Youth and Panasonic, all in the left corner.
There's Yandu and Quality Marine Clothing. Yandu didn't have his best race in the first race today. He was last at the weather mark, but got himself up into the fleet, as John Winning tends to do, to finish in the middle of the pack. So Smeg this time going right to Clark Island, Andrew.
Yeah, a little bit more wind in general over the track, so he can do that and he's in the lead, and the whole fleet's following him, so he's not taking any risk there.
There he goes. He's just tacked onto starboard.
Yep.
Down pressure a little. Just starting to rumble now. And he'll comfortably, well, not comfortably, he will cross. Appliances Online will be, who he's just coming up to, will be, I think, second at this stage.
And Appliances are going to tack on his lee bow, so not a lee bow, but just
to leeward.
Oh, it's leeward. Ooh.
Not a great tack.
Nope. One of the boys in the boat after the tack, so something a little strange there.
It's generally good pressure across the course at the moment, doesn't it? Up a bit, about 10 knots, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Just 2 knots more wind makes a big difference, which is pretty much what we're seeing.
Okay, well, they're the two leaders. Fleet again have split. A couple have gone left, which we can't see at the moment, which is Asco and Noakes sailing.
Oh, the Cooper's having a tough, the Ragged family's having a tough day here. Anyway, we're on Noakes, just in the middle of the fleet here, little rig up, Noakes Youth.
Well, Asco looks all right, Andrew.
Yeah, except the tack back into Point Piper is very tough.
Yeah.
You know, the structural shift is to the right at the top of the course. So
well, that's Asco we're on now. He's got Shark Island in the background, standing in there.
And Smeg gone back for a bit more south, so
it's a big split.
Not where we are, but we follow Asco across here. Might be quite interesting, Stu.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get there without doing too much fleet damage.
Asco's way out by himself here on the left. The rest, the bulk of the fleet and the leading group, who were leading group, are standing into Double Bay. John Winning and Yandu's punched through. He's in a good, very good position.
Near the podium. Look, if these boys here, if Asco can get this line of breeze, which is on them now, with a bit of left-hand air in it, they could be on the podium.
Yeah, I'd say he is. They're very much in it. They've had good pressure all the way from Bradley's Head almost into Shark Island. They've got more pressure coming. They're about to come into a good pressure line here, Andrew. See that?
Yeah, got enough left hand too.
Here they go.
It wouldn't have been good, but they had to ease the jib. There was that much pressure. So off they go.
They will be, I would think,
close to the lead.
Very much
in the lead.
In the hunt anyway. In the lead, close to it. We've got Rag and Famish have come left as well, as has Panasonic. Smeg's gone hard right into Double Bay, and he's on good Asco, I think.
Asco has to tack.
Yep. Asco has bailed out with being on port tack.
So that suggests that Smeg's still
the leading. Yeah. I think you're right there.
But still,
I'm not so sure, boys. I think they're looking very soft in there, and I think the way the breeze has been shifting, if
he's
the left-hand side gets a left angle and a bit more pressure,
how much you're putting on that, Creeks?
On Woody and Asco?
Yeah.
Oh, how about a hat?
A hat, I was going to say, a hat. You can win a hat here, Bucko.
That's a new currency.
That's the currency.
Right, okay.
We used to prefer bottles of Shiraz, actually. Quick, I don't know about that,
Casks. What about casks?
No, Penfolds 138, Pete, if you... Oh,
Here we go, we're about to find out.
We're about to find out.
That's Yandu just tacked. This will tell the story.
Smeg's
got good pressure and he's high.
Easily.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the fleet, you've got Smeg.
Yeah, that's right. So
I think you're in the Porphyry Pearl here, Bucko, for the moment.
It's a Penfolds. It's a Penfolds 138, mate.
What about the Benin?
No.
Yeah, that was a good drop.
No.
Asco's Smeg's nicely in front.
Yeah.
So
Are you a hat?
But Asco is near the podium, so But it is awkward, isn't it?
Good Smeg. He hasn't missed a beat really there. He looked slow for a little while and down, but he.
Well, Pete,
kept to his convictions.
He's going to lead here by 30 seconds again. So.
Easy. Good pressure. He's probably on a lay line.
Yeah.
Nice
Surprise. He's picked the angle.
Spinnaker up. Here we go. Yandu's second. Only by about 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Smeg's got a good puff. If he can, really good puff to drive.
Wow.
Yeah, they were a bit untidy there, the boys. Pretty poor tack.
Quite windy.
Yeah, good pressure puff.
Very busy for fourth, boys. Ilvey,
plenty of action here. Finport third, LV4, DeLonghi, Quality Marine Clothing, all very close. Good battle for the miners. Smeg's away.
Oh.
Then Asco, he really lucked out there. Asco, he was looking from the lead and he's back in about 8th place. Jibe set on Appliance Online, Quality Marine Clothing and Asco, they've all jibe set. Finport jibed early. Kitchen Maker recovered from his poor start and doing the penalty turns. But meanwhile, at the front of the fleet, Asco, bow down, pressure,
Beautiful.
And gone.
Yeah.
And just for the
what
record,
happened to the AOL there, guys? I mean,
I didn't see. They
were
in the money.
Almost in the lead.
Yeah. Well, same with Asco. The boats that have jibe set haven't done that well here. They've got no pressure for the moment. Meanwhile, Smeg's carried really good pressure at the head of the fleet. He's smoking down towards Bradley's head.
Yeah, the Smeg, the puff that nearly put him in the tide of the windward mark, has just taken him very cleanly away. So, tough for anybody to catch them unless they capsize.
So again, Finport did a good job.
Did a nice job.
Right up there again.
Yep.
Hot at the moment. Finport third. DeLonghi, a little bit of pressure, not max pressure by any means. Just behind her, coming into shot in a moment, will be Ilve. Not quite in shot yet. There they are. Hanging in there. You can see the all hunting pressure here at the moment.
I like the look of Quality Marine on starboard jibe.
Yeah, they've got a good
bit of east with plenty.
They got into a nice puff there, didn't they? I mean, it looked pretty soggy over there on the left, but they've done a good job to get back out.
What he's doing there, he's going to run square around the launch.
A few pleasantries exchanged. The breeze moved left a bit, I think, Andrew, hasn't it?
Correct,
Yeah.
Peter, correct, indeed.
You can see that the leaders, there's Quality Marine.
Steve, the middle of the fleet's all bunched, isn't it? It's a big ping pong game there for a while, pinball game.
Big changes in pressure and direction.
Yeah, there's fully 40 degrees difference between hard left and hard right here.
Yeah. Lots of passing lanes. I mean, look at what Asco's done up hard there on the left. They're looking really solid. And they weren't.
There's some big shifts downwind.
So we might see Smeg doing a jibe drop at the port hand mark by the look of that.
Yeah, they only have one option, Bucko, I'd suggest.
Yeah. Oh, they could take down and go to the other one, but no. It's unlike them to do that.
Yeah, they're low hooks there, boys.
Very low hooks. Wow.
They've got plenty on Smeg.
Yeah.
Well, Mike McKenzie's got to get this off.
And a jibe drop under pressure. Don't we enjoy that?
Well, Yandu is he's on a good lay. They're not fighting anywhere near as hard as Smeg is.
No, he's cruising.
Smeg is really struggling. He's trying to. What's he going to do? He's going to drop.
He's going to do a jibe drop.
Drive, drop. Big manoeuvre this.
Oh, pretty. It's easy, but
well, there are easier ones.
Well. Oh, it's not so great, is it?
No.
No.
Oh, Yandu, they're all going to this. No, Yandu's doing the same. Smeg's untied. He's got the spinnaker still out the bow. Yandu's done a better job, I think.
Pretty good, though, from Smeg, really,
Yep.
like, to be honest.
I'm going to do a left-hand turn here, everybody.
And Finport will be third. He's dropped and then jibing.
And having trouble with the drop.
And got a knot in the halyard, Andrew. I told you to try and lay that out before we...
It's always possible that the skipper puts his, foot in the rope, and that would never have happened, of course, on any boat I sail on, Pete. But I have known it to happen, to other boats.
Well, what that meant was that Yandu climbed right up the exhaust.
Yep.
There's Ilve around, and And Asco and Appliances Online, Rag have gone to the right-hand mark, and DeLonghi, and they're going to come out in really good pressure.
Oh yeah, the Appliances have come out on a cracker there.
Yep. Nice left-hander there.
Smeg on starboard on some good right now, so the race leader's just consolidating himself up the track.
Yes, he's in good pressure as well, and there's more coming down to him. Oh, just as I spoke, he's just taken a big,
just run out of it.
windward skate there. He's run out of pressure. Triple M and Lumix just rounding now. So the fleets will have been big gains here by Asco, DeLonghi and Appliances Online. They all went to the right-hand mark, looking downwind, and they've really made big gains.
And give them their credit, all three of them did a really nice job of down that run too. They came from Nowheresville. I mean,
yep.
DeLonghi was up there, but Asco and AOL weren't.
Really got a good race now. We've got Smeg crossing the leading group, and Asco, DeLonghi and Appliance Online have all jumped ahead. Oh no, two of them have jumped ahead of Yandu. DeLonghi's had to pull behind Yandu. So Yandu's gone from second to fourth, while Finport remains hard on Port, going right over, attacking any second.
With Woody hot on his heels.
Yandu dropped a little, but Smeg's trying to get round Bradley's head. It's tight.
He's trying to wait out a couple of powerboat weights.
Yeah,
I think,
no, he's got a crew in.
Stand into the puff as well. Puff's
he's got some bad waves there.
Yeah, Tide'll help him, won't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Get a nice little
all sorts of things.
Boost.
He's patient. He is very patient.
Yeah. Look at Woody going left to right there against the background.
Yeah. He's going to get round Smeg, but Yandu's bailed out. He's tacked. Smeg obviously wants the left.
Well, he's also trying to avoid the big powerboat that is about to come into shot, which causes trouble.
He's not causing trouble.
Well,
it's a fine-looking ship, that one.
It's got enough wash. Did you design that one, Steve?
Maybe.
Now.
Maybe.
Maybe. Won't admit.
The boat's in the middle.
I'm very proud of that one. Andy
We're
Armour.
on Smeg at the moment, but he hasn't got a good line at the moment to come back with. He's punching some waves. Another boat going right across his bow.
It's not a happy story on either side of the harbour at the moment, is it? Smeg down and low. Yandu's in a good spot.
Look at those waves they've got to go through. I think this will be a lift out of the left, so Asco's closed right up here. He'll easily cross Yandu. Asco will by going out into the right.
Yeah, and you know, Smeg's out the back of the puff now, so he's hurting.
Yeah, Asco's close to the lead here, Andrew.
Yep.
And
Smeg's ducking the other guys.
Yeah, so Smeg is gone from first to at least third.
Yep.
So now he wants the right-hand side.
I think Asco might come out of this in front if they tack soon. Hard right.
So on the left we've got Finport.
He's come back into
Yandu,
it.
AOL's looking solid.
Terrific race this.
And on the right we've got, out of screen, the viewers can't see, we've got Asco really investing big time in the right-hand side.
Smeg's tack.
Yep.
So we've got the four leaders all going starboard tack, heading in towards Shark Island. So it's a real battle.
So, Pete, I think the tacticians tonight take an extra 10 out of the till, mate, for today.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tough day.
So what do you think happened with Smeg? He hung in there too long, and then he got bad waves. And
he sailed slowly for quite a long time, just to squeeze up around the
island, around the point,
around the headland, and didn't have much wind and had a lot of sea. You know, a lot of powerboat wash.
Hurting.
I think they made a conscious decision to sort of get themselves around Bradley's in one and not tack, and it ended up costing
them. Yes. Yep. Okay, well, it's still anybody's race.
I'd say Asco leads.
Asco on the right.
Yep. Is that on screen, Chips? Asco on screen. Asco.
Asco is about...
That's all right.
A big loser has been Smeg, boys, isn't it?
Has. Yep.
Okay, there's appliances online and Yandu starboard tack into Shark Island. Finport coming across on port behind them. Yandu trying to come round the bow of appliances online, but he's rocketing up that Shark Island shore, Yandu, but don't know whether he can cross appliances. He may.
Good pressure
Yandu
all over
tagging.
the track now.
He's got to get back to the right. Looking up the
Yeah,
course, I think.
appliances will be second here.
Yeah, well, Asco's, well, I don't know, appliances. No, Yandu's.
Oh, appliances very kind to him.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, Yandu could be leading here. Yandu's the leader. Wow.
Watch
Here we
the
go.
space. Finport might be the leader, Pete.
Yeah, it is tricky. It is tricky.
Yeah.
Shifty. That's what it is.
Lot
It's
lot
shifty.
more east in it now, boys.
Yeah. So it's Yandu, appliances online, Finport, Asco, and then Smeg. But
Asco into a big header. Amazing.
Watch
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had to steer about 270 degrees to get away
Yeah.
from them.
so they've got about 100, 150 metres from the weather mark here at Point Piper. Anyone's race.
Well, they just got chewed up, the Asco.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did. Bragg and Famish have done a bad tack in midstream.
He's tacked 100 times at this beat, the Greg.
He's got himself back into
Oh,
it.
that's a big tip.
That's a
That's a
big
hurt.
That's a hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Appliance Online has got himself to leeward of Yandu.
We got a cross here or not? The Smeg?
Yeah, Smeg's across.
Smeg's going to be fourth at least.
Yeah. Asco will lay in at fifth.
If they lay.
Appliance Online's got Yandu locked out a bit there. What's the tactics here, Andrew?
Stay in the wind, Pete.
Yeah. Okay.
Copy.
Capiche.
Okay. Race on here. Race on. Appliance Online, Yandu at the moment are the two leaders.
Finport on the face of a good puff here, Steve.
Yeah, they are. So we've got
Beauty.
AOL, Yandu, Finport, Smeg, Asco, Rag. It's all pretty close. Then coming behind them, we've got DeLonghi, Kitchen Maker, and Nugs Youth.
Okay. So looking at this, looks like it favours the guys on the western side of the track here, on the northwestern side of the track here. So Yandu looks like they're in the best spot to me.
Woody's definitely on a lovely ley line, but I wouldn't discount AOL.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'd be happy to put a hat on AOL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. All right.
certainly.
Well, the track here are now lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're travelling with Yandu on the screen, and he would be thinking he can just keep going here, I think.
Okay, Appliances Online. He's
Oh, and the Smeg jibed off, Steve. Brave stuff.
Yep. That's all right. They can afford to. I mean, AOL and Woody's just defending. AOL's made their choice. They're going left.
yeah.
Woody's
AOL
got to
must-
make a decision because he's got Keegan in the right.
AOL must jibe, surely.
Yeah.
Woody's the meat and the sandwich at the moment here.
Yeah.
There's Smeg going back out to the east, or the north.
Yeah, I don't like where Woody's going there.
No. As you say, Finport's
Lifted in less pressure.
Yeah, AOL's gone very quiet.
Yeah.
Hard left under the island there.
Anyway, here he
Here
goes.
comes Yandu. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he will.
Look at Finport. Finport's bow up now. I'm sure Woody would say some nice words to those powerboats going across him. He's very friendly on the water, Woody.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just ask him how their day is.
Lovely boat.
Yeah, nice boat, mate.
Nice boat, mate. Hope you're having a nice day because you just, did he say rooted mine or something like that?
Well,
he's on a nice lay to the...
Yeah, he's good, Woody.
Woody
good.
doing it easy
Yep,
here, I'd
nice
suggest.
job.
Yeah, really well done. Big Herman
That's
stood
right.
in for him and got 2 seconds, so it's like, I'm back.
Yeah, well, Woody was
Take
away.
that, Herman.
So his son, John Jr., sailed the boat to 2 second places. So whatever John Jr. could do, John Sr. could do as well, and
Yeah.
even better.
Maybe better.
That's a great win.
He's on a
Well,
lay.
he's not there yet, but he will. He's very comfortable.
He'll get there. So I think we'll see Smeg get 4th out of all that.
So who have we got behind us here? Who you got for second? 2, 3, 4,
I'm
5,
sorry,
Bucko?
Smeg will be fierce. So
Yep.
probably Yandu, AOL, Finport, Asco, Smeg.
So we're on Woody coming into the finish.
The Yandu,
Beautiful lay line there.
Got
Look at
about-
that.
perfect lay.
A couple of boat lengths to go. There he goes. There's the winner.
Boom.
Yandu.
Well
Good
done.
job.
Woody, Cam
Fantastic.
McDonald and Berger. Nice job.
Yep. And Finport jibing to come in. He's still
Steve.
AOL will be second. Plants Online will be second.
AOL pressing hard to get to the committee boat. Wow. They'll be pleased the tide's going out, Steve, I think.
They will. Bit of right to left won't hurt them at all.
Oh, there's
And look at Asco. This is very close.
Come on, boys, fill the chute. Yeah, they're going to go.
Rag sixth.
Very popular with the punters, Woody.
Yep.
Likes to put money on him every race, doesn't matter.
So next we've got the Kitchen Maker and DeLonghi having
Yeah.
a good race to the finish.
Kitchen Maker will be seventh.
Oh, they're not through yet. Maybe they are. Yep. Nice job, boys. Oh,
Tough. Oh, just got there, Steve, eh?
just breathing around the
Yeah,
front there, I
just
think.
breathing around the
We'll
front,
get there.
exactly.
Yeah.
DeLonghi will be eighth.
Oh, the DeLonghi. Oh, not quite, upside down.
And then we've got Quality Marine, Ilvi, Dalzotto. Oh, no, maybe Noakes Youth here.
Well, that was a thrilling race. That
It was a great race.
second race,
Yep.
yeah.
It was a
Full
beauty.
marks to the Yandu boys. He was there or thereabouts all day, and then he snuck his nose in front at the last bit of that beat and kept on keeping on.
Now, look, I haven't put it into the supercomputer yet, Pete, but I'm going to suggest Woody might be the series leader or
Woody
close
will
to
be,
it.
yeah. No, he will be.
Well, if you give me 30 seconds, I'll work that out for you.
With a 1-2-2, whatever he had today was his first race. Wasn't great,
Well,
but
So we'll just recap on the day's adventures. 2 races, heats 3 and 4. So the first race today, which was heat 3 of the Australian Championship, Smeg was first, Finport was second.
Team Woody.
So he's the leader in the Australian Championship after 4 races. So that's absolutely fantastic.
4 races in about 1,000 years of skiff sailing.
That's right. That's right.
Approx. Have to check the records on that one, but
Well, you know, he's comes from pretty good heritage. I mean, his father, the late Choco, when he was one of the finest, if not the finest, skiff sailors on the harbour. And it certainly runs in the blood. I mean, you see how Woody at 60, nearly 66 years of age is showing these young blokes still how to do it.
Yeah, and today was a day where having done that course a few times wouldn't hurt your chances.
No, but you know, you still had to do it, didn't you? It's a terrific
Absolutely.
day.
Yeah, no,
terrific.
he did. Yeah, he did an awesome job.
So that's winding the day up, really. So 2 terrific races. We've next Sunday, there's 2 more, heats 5 and 6 of the Australian titles. So we've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you have at home. So thanks to all our technical guys at the back and our drone pilots and everyone who's done a terrific job bringing it to you. We've enjoyed it out here. I hope you've enjoyed it at home. On behalf of Steve Quigley, our new captain, who did a great job, didn't run into anything yet.
I don't think I'm the new captain, and you're not home safely yet.
Stand-in captain.
Can't wait for Wazza to get back.
I'll give you 10 out of 10.
Quietly.
Andrew, I'll give you 8.5 out of 10. A couple of little mistakes, but other than that, you did okay.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, but great to be with you guys. And so on behalf of Andrew and Chits and Jono, Whitty and all the boys, we thank you for your efforts. It's been absolutely